Hey, what's up? Welcome to our channel. So if you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. As you guys know, I love to do DIYs and show you guys how to make things. If you have kids and want to throw them a party on a budget, you can always make them their stuff, like their piñatas. But anyway, for today's video, we're making Flounder. This person asked for a #1 Little Mermaid theme, and I was thinking about the little fish, how cute he is, and I really wanted to make him. But she didn't ask for it, but I still decided to make it because I wanted to give it to her. And, well, she was my cousin, and she had already purchased a dinosaur. So if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and make sure you go and watch it, and the mermaid one. So I decided to gift her this one. So I'm making a smaller version, and starting off by doing the outline. Right here, it is a bigger one. The reason why I decided to make a small version was so that it would be easier for me to record and get this on film, other than trying to do it like bigger and having a hard time trying to get it on film. Hopefully that explains itself pretty well. I don't know, but anyways, so after I drew out the outline of the piñata, I went ahead and took some scissors and started cutting it out, all the edges, throughout the edges. You are gonna be needing two, I guess you could call it stencils, 2 sides of this, which is going to be the face and the back, and then we are going to add like a border to give it a dimension where the candies are going to go inside. So if you guys see me going back between the big and the smaller piñata, it's okay, it's the same concept, it's just larger. So after I did that, after I cut out my fish, I went ahead and placed it on top of the other cardboard. This one I did use a cereal box to make the smaller version, and then I just went along the edges and traced it. After that, I did cut it as well, and now I am gonna go ahead and add my borders to it. This is about 1.5 inches, and I am just adding a little bit of hot glue and holding it towards the edge of the piñata. I did the same thing with the bigger version, just that I didn't do it the same size. I think it was, usually when I make the bigger ones, it is about 3, maybe 4 inches. And then I also added tape along the edges to hold it in place. So once I finish the bottom, I'm just gonna go ahead and add the face to it and also glue it and put some tape on it. So do make sure that you hold it in place until your glue is dried. That way, you won't have any problems with it not sticking well. Because sometimes if I don't hold it, it does just come off. And once I held that in place and it dried, I went ahead and started adding some tape to the borders as well. So after that, basically you're just gonna go ahead and do this throughout the whole borders of the piñata. Make sure that it stays in place. And once you do finish gluing and taping all of it, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next step. Okay, so something that I want to talk about, it's not related to the piñata, but it's related to my videos. So if you guys notice, I do talk a lot throughout my videos. Reason being is that I don't want to get a copyright. It happened to me before. I used this app called Vita to edit my videos when I use this other phone that is not an iPhone. But when I use iMovie, I don't add music because I don't want to get a copyright. I don't know what I could use. So if you guys think I talk a lot, you could always mute me, open another tab, and put your music. Or your music in the background. Problem solved. If you have any tips, let me know on the comment section down below. Please, thank you, and continue with the video. For the next step, I'm going to go ahead and take my engrudo. And these are the papers that usually come in the mailbox with the advertisement for grocery stores and stuff like that. If you have newspaper, you could go ahead and use it. That's what people usually use for this. But as I said, I like to recycle as much, and I don't really buy newspapers, so I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of all this paper that they just shove in my mailbox and go ahead and place it. So I'm taking my engrudo, covering up the paper, and I'm gonna go ahead throughout the edges and cover it all up, 3 to 4 layers. As you guys can see, this is a bigger piñata and the other one was a smaller one. So it's just to show you guys that Basically, it is the same thing that I am doing. Now for the next tip, I am taking some tissue paper, and I kind of drew out a couple of lines to know where the colors of each like the tissue paper, the last part of it, that where it's gonna go. You don't really have to do this, but I like to do it so that it could have kind of like a more polished finish to it, and this is how it looks. That way the other paper won't be as see-through. And once you're done, we are getting ready to decorate. So I am taking this crepe paper. As you guys can see, they are slightly different. One is like a little bit darker than the other blue, and I'm just gonna open it up and start cutting it, fold it into a couple of pieces, and this is gonna be my French paper. I like to use the crepe paper because it makes the process so much faster than tissue paper. You could also use it, is a little bit more affordable. They're about the same same price, but it's just that when you buy the tissue paper, I usually get all this at the Dollar Tree, so tissue paper tends to have a little bit more than the crepe paper, but it's totally fine. This was the last minute piñata. I actually started making it like a couple of days before because I didn't have the time throughout the week. So my cousin was supposed to pick these up this same afternoon, and I called her. It was probably like around 2, and she gave me till 3 because she was actually in town and she was gonna pick them up. I just told her to give me extra time so that I could finish it, and I was actually in a rush to finish it. Good thing I already had most of my yellow paper cut out from like a day or 2 ahead. And as you guys can see, I'm just folding and cutting the French throughout the whole thing. So once I do finish cutting it out, I'm gonna go ahead and start to apply it on the piñata. I always start with the borders of it, so I kind of match it out to as and where the colors are supposed to be. So as you guys can see, I did the blue, and then I am gonna go ahead and move on with the yellow. But I found it easier for me to move a little bit faster by cutting it up to size, other than applying and cutting at the moment. So most of these are already cut up to size, but I typically could only do it I could only really do this when I'm doing the edges of it, because I kind of know the exact size that I'm going to be using. And when I'm doing the center part, the size of the paper could be like very different sizes because not everything is the same. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I'm starting off from the bottom and working my way up. And right here I am taking a brush, applying my engrudo. You could use glue, hot glue, whatever you have, but since I already have the engrudo, I'm gonna go ahead and use this. It saves me time, and it's already there. So with the brush, I found it to be a lot more easier, because if you do use a hot glue gun, you're gonna go ahead and like add little by little, and then you have to paste it. So when you brush on your engrudo, you could actually do like a big layer and just keep on working. So right here I am making the smaller version of the mouth, just giving you guys an example of how I did it. I already had done the bigger one, but I just kind of drew out the outline and then I just started cutting it out. I am taking this pink paper because it's going to be the tongue of flounder of the fish. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. Make sure that I keep the black because that's going to be part of the outlines from the piñata. And I was supposed to do like a lot more outlines, but I just didn't have the time for it. I was actually working really fast trying to finish it, and this was the best that I could do. She didn't know about it. I just told her I was gonna give her something else, but she didn't know exactly what I was gonna gift her. But I was working really fast to try and finish it before she left, because she does live like an hour and a half away from here, and she had to go and drive back home. So basically on the red paper I did the mouth, and then I took white paper and drew out the eyes, kind of colored it, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and once I am finished with this, I'm gonna cut them out as well. Something else that I want to say is that when I started doing the eyes and the mouth, that was about 2 days after the actual piñata was made and turned in. Thanks to editing, I am able to draw it and show you guys how I made it. I was in such a rush that I didn't get to film it while I was doing it. So right here, as you guys can see in the next clip, is the piñata. All the backside still had to be made, and she was gonna get there in about 10 to 15 minutes. So I just did the face on one side and decided to cover all the back with yellow. I kind of improvised and made her name and a couple of stars and placed them in the back. I still think it looks pretty good. This is the number one that she ordered. She just told me number one, Little Mermaid, and this is what I came up with. The fish was just an extra gift for me, and I think they work together very well and they look really nice. Thank you guys for watching. Please give this a thumbs up, comment down below anything else that you would like to see, and please consider subscribing. See you guys next time.